Hey everyone, welcome to the Dare to Care podcast, the podcast where we talk about the inner workings of ministry at Inspire Family Fellowship and community stories within the church. If you have comments, stories, or questions about Inspire or our Dare to Care ministries at any point during our podcast today, feel free to send those questions to me at amy@inspirefamily.org. We also invite you to join us in person at Inspire on Sunday at 9:15 or 10:45. We're located at 523 North 21st Street, Bismarck, North Dakota. My name's Amy Langang, and I'm the Dare to Care coordinator at Inspire Family Fellowship. And I'm joined today with Kate Little and our special guest, Lauryn Caster.
You know what I just realized we should have had? Oh. We should have had those party horns that I brought you yesterday. Shoot.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Lauryn. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Fantastic. We're so excited to have you on. I think, and I could be wrong because I'm kind of new here, is this the first all-girl podcast?
I think so.
Ty's shaking
we were
his head
talking about
yes.
that a little earlier.
So it's girl power. So, Lauryn, you are one of, can we still call her youth?
Absolutely.
In a way?
Yeah.
I'm a child. Someone say.
Child of God.
So, yeah, I am.
So Kate's been able to watch you grow through your faith here at Inspire a little bit over the years. And I know Lauryn because I've watched her grow up next door to me for many years. I've known Lauryn since, goodness, you were
tiny.
Very small. 3 or 4 years old, maybe?
I saw Amy when she was pregnant with Caden and Jace.
With Jace, yeah.
Jace.
So I've known her for a very long time. So, yeah, I'm excited to be a part of this today. Well, Lauryn, tell us about you a little bit. Are you from Bismarck? Obviously, we just went over that. But
well, I wasn't born in Bismarck, but I pretty much grew up in Bismarck. I was born in Boise, Idaho, and then we moved when my mom was doing her master's to Minneapolis, and then my sister was born there, and then we moved here, and I started kindergarten here, and just grew up here. But I did like VBS and all things at a different church, and then I came here, followed Pastor Randy, and then got really involved here, which has been really fun, and I really like it. And then I went off to, I got confirmed my senior year here, and then I went off to Grand Canyon University, and I was swimming there and just doing ministry there. Like, it was really fun. I got to, learn a lot of new things about just Christianity as a whole and just, ways to serve. And, doing things for the glory of God and not, for myself, which is how I sometimes would perceive it as, being an athlete throughout high school. But then being an athlete in college was very different. But now I'm not swimming anymore. But that's okay. That's fine.
You're still involved with swimming now?
Yes, I am a swim coach now. So I'm coaching Aquastorm, which is really fun.
It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, Lauryn, you said that you went to GCU. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience there as an athlete? And I mean, I know you touched on it a little bit, but not all of our listeners might know what GCU is or what they're all about.
Yeah, so Grand Canyon is a private Christian university. I was involved on the swim team there. They were a D1 program, and going into a D1 program, I was like, wow, this is going to be so cool. And you get all the treatment, you get all the cool gear and all that stuff, and you get to travel. But it was definitely not really anything like that. It was more so, yes, we got to travel. Yeah, we got cool gear. But it was more like not saying that a D1 program is bad in any way. Mm-hmm. But I definitely feel like if I were to continue swimming and continuing being an athlete and performing at that level, I'd want to perform at a D2 level and just kind of I feel like I would fit there better if I were to swim at UMary than Grand Canyon. Mm-hmm. But it was great. We got to travel to Hawaii. That was, my favorite trip. I'd never been to Hawaii. And then we also got to travel to New Mexico. And when we were there, it was actually snowing, which was really weird because I hadn't seen snow in, a really long time until I went into New Mexico. And I was like, is it even supposed to be snowing here? But it was. And then we went to Seattle, and we got to see, the fish market and all that, and I've never been there, so that was really cool. And we went to Colorado and all that. But one thing about the program was, it was like all international students, and like that was really cool. Like my roommate was literally from England, and then my other one was from Minnesota. So I had never like been open. Like I guess like my family and I traveled like a lot, but only to like Mexico or like Central America. But it was like people from like Spain and Australia and Italy someone was from Italy. It was like really cool, and like I learned a lot new things, but I also learned like a lot about culture and like how different people do things. And I was just very grateful to be raised in the house that I was raised in, and just like taught how to do certain things and grown up in like a way of respecting people and things like that.
So you talked about different cultures and whatnot. Now, I know GCU, they are a Christian school, and I believe they have a really large auditorium that they do a lot of services in.
Yeah.
So tell us about, maybe, did you see things within the religion aspect that were culturally different, or how people worshiped, or was that pretty consistent since it was a Christian school?
It was, at first, it was like, it was good. They did the sermons in like the arena, like where the basketball players would play.
Oh, okay.
And like they would just tear it was so crazy. It was like you were in like, I tell my mom this all the time. It was like we were in a Mexico resort. Like, and when she would come and visit GCU, it was like everybody just tears down one thing and puts up another thing like instantly. It's so weird. Like there's so many workers and like people that put in like a lot of work into what goes around campus and like all the events that they would do. But yeah, so every Monday, so we wouldn't have class on Mondays. Mondays were like, I guess some people would have like lab or something, but Mondays were for chapel is what they would call it down there. And chapel, we'd go, it was like at 11. I had never seen that many people like gather, but like I don't know, there were so many people there, but then like my roommates wouldn't even go, like, and it showed like, oh well, there's probably a bunch of other people that aren't going, but there's still this many kids showing up on Monday morning to worship and hear the word. And there was so the president of GCU would speak, and then we'd have like a guest speaker do the sermon. And we went through the Sermon on the Mount, so the Beatitudes and everything. So that was really cool too, because I never dove into the book of Matthew that way either. And like worship, everybody, like we do at Inspire, everybody would go to the front, and that was really cool to see too, because I was like, well, we do that at home, and that was really exciting. But like also there would, like, the arena is huge, there would be students like on the way top part up there, and just like people would just like be like this. It was so cool. It was really cool. I liked it. And they did like a lot of other things. So I was involved in FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, down there too. That's just like where the athletes would gather Wednesday nights, and we would just hear from a bunch of professional athletes too. Like one of my FCA leaders, he plays for the Mariners, so that was really cool. He came in and he spoke, and there were like baptisms like every night, and like so many athletes, and like even just people around campus. We just go to one of the pools on campus, and just our FCA leader would baptize people, and that was really cool to see too. And then I was part of the gathering, which was like Thursday night. So I was doing something like every night if it wasn't swim practice. I was trying to do something other. Because I was dealing with an injury, a really bad injury, where like that's why the reason I am not swimming anymore. So I was like, well, how can I get involved and do other things? Because I didn't really have friends down there. I'm just going to be honest. Like I didn't really get along with my roommates. It wasn't like we would always hang out together. They kind of did their own thing, and they were always at swim practice. But then when I wasn't given the community through swimming, I kind of had to find my own community and like reach out that way. And then I met one of my best friends. Her name is Lauren too, but with an E. It was so crazy. That's a story for another time. But that is like, we would do everything together. We would go to the markets, and like we'd always go to chapel together, the gathering, FCA. She was on the women's soccer team there. And then we would just like, I started to do this thing called Canyon Kids. So every Saturday morning we'd walk to, and the area around Grand Canyon is not good. Like the neighborhoods around there are bad. There's just a lot of homeless, which was kind of crazy to see. Like I've never seen something like that up here. So that was like, whoa, like I have to be careful. I have to be alert and
be aware of your surroundings, as Kate says.
Yeah.
Yep, we talked about that.
Yeah. I did make my mom kind of mad sometimes. I'd ride my scooter off campus. It was bad. But it's fine. I didn't have a car.
Midnight, too?
It wasn't midnight. It was during the day. I didn't have a car, and I needed groceries, so I scootered to Target.
Of course you did.
Did they deliver?
I had Instacart, the membership, but sometimes I was just like, well, I want to get off campus. Not good. It was bad. Like, from the people laying on benches, from all the tiny bumps, I'm pretty sure that's how I broke my scooter.
Oh.
I broke my scooter.
Yep.
The tire went flat. Yeah. But anyways, Canyon Kids. So Canyon Kids, we would walk through the neighborhood through there and like pick up the little kids, and there was like a church down in that neighborhood, and then we walk to that church and just play games with them for like 4 hours, do like a little Bible reading, and then send them and drop them back off at home. But that was really cool to like be able to go out into the community and serve in that way, because that community definitely needs a little light of Jesus in there for sure. So that was really cool, and I liked doing that. But that was pretty much everything I was involved in.
So when you were, I think this might be a hard question, so support me here. But I'm thinking, like, your faith journey. I've seen you grow up since you were little, and I know there's been times in your life where maybe things have maybe been a little bit harder, and I've seen you really turn to Jesus, and I've seen that shine through you as you've gotten older. Can you pinpoint or tell us a few of those milestones in your life where he's really been at your side?
Yeah. Well, let's see. So thinking back, I definitely did not have the right group of friends. Like, if I could say one thing, and I tell my Bible study groups this, like finding a community and finding friends that are like lights of Jesus is so important, and like they can really steer you in the right direction. And like for a while there, I was just kind of like, I didn't have like a group, and I think you don't need to have a group of friends to like grow. I mean, like community, yes, but like you don't need to be in a friend group. Like I have friends from like all over the place, and we all do different things and like things like that. So I think like especially in high school, it was like sophomore year kind of where my whole thing like shift, I would say. It was around like sophomore, junior year. But then senior year, it really happened. I kind of share with my testimony when I got confirmed. One of my best friends went through a really bad mental health thing, and she moved away, and that just was kind of like, I think I really involved my life around her a lot, and like the way she wants to do things, I have to do things. The way she does things at practice, I have to do things at practice, and things like that. So her kind of moving away kind of opened my eyes to like, I can do things the way that I want, and I can find my own friends. I don't have to be friends with these certain people or these certain people. I can just be friends with who I want to be friends with and who like God steers me towards. And so I think that was really the part. It was just like that happening in my life and that milestone. And then I think going off to Grand Canyon, the first couple months there were really hard, but then it steered me right in the right direction. So
I'm going to touch on this a little bit more first before we move on. So I knew Lauren back at a different church we were at before we came here to Inspire. And I remember it was me and one of my friends were like middle school leaders, right? I think you were in middle school at that point. And out of nowhere, this kid just comes.
She's getting nervous.
Out of nowhere, this kid just comes in and is just like the most energetic human being I have ever met in my entire life. I'm like, where did this kid come from? And I loved every second of it because I'm like, you were the life of the group, man.
Yeah.
And like, you brought energy every single week. And I'm like, yes, that's what we need in here. Because if you don't know me, I'm bouncing off the walls all the time. So I loved that. And I'm like, I can't wait for this. And then I moved to Inspire. And I'm going to be honest, I was sad because I'm like, no, I lost my little light buddy who's just bouncing off the walls with me. Yeah. And we'd cause chaos. And then all of a sudden, one random Wednesday, she comes walking through the doors. And I was so pumped. I'm like, yes.
I remember that.
She's
that
back.
was so fun.
So it's been so cool to watch just watch you navigate, and I've seen you like from back at the other place to here, and just the growth that you've made is incredible. Like, you can tell you're on fire for Jesus, man, and it's so exciting to see. It's so exciting to see, because like you want to just be fully involved in you're involved in so many things back here in Bismarck that are faith related that I think we'll touch on in a little bit. Unless
I think we should just
can
go
we
there right now.
Okay, let's
Take
go
it
there right now.
Kate. Take it there.
You came back here and you're like, what can I do? How can I be involved?
Yeah.
And I know you're involved with some young adult things at Evangel. Do you want to touch on that before we get to some things here at Inspire and kind of what you're doing there?
Yeah.
Because it's awesome.
So I came back in like April, and I literally texted Kate, and I was like, how can I get involved? Because I was so involved at GCU, and like I was honestly like every day where I was like, I just want to go home, I don't want to be here anymore. But at the end I was like, wow, I'm really gonna miss this place and like everything I've grown here, and like my friendship with Lauren, like that was just kind of hard to leave. And I texted Kate on the drive home, I was like, how can I get involved and what can I do here? Because I really wanted to, I don't know, I like to do things. I like to lead. I like to be involved. And then she was like, well, we'll find something for you. And then I was leading, I got my friends together, and I really loved doing Bible studies and just being with a group and being outside. And I'd have girls over to my house this summer, and we would just do like Bible studies outside, or we'd be down in the basement, or we'd go to a park. And then those girls, they moved off to NDSU. They go to NDSU and UND. Some stayed here, but the ones that stayed here go to Evangel. And they were like, hey, you should come to a Sunday service. So we all went to a service together. And then Avery, one of the girls that goes to Evangel, she was like, hey, Pastor Joshua was like asking who leads our Bible study group, and I told him it was you, and then he asked if you wanted to lead a young adult group. So I was like, whoa, that's kind of intense, but I did it, and that's what I've been doing there. So we have like a young adult, it's called like a connect group through Evangel, and it's just a bunch of young adults. We gather Thursday nights and we lead, and we're going through a book study, so it's just like practicing the way and really focusing in on how we can follow Jesus, live like him, and be an apprentice of God. So that's kind of what I was doing through Evangel. And I don't know, right now I've been doing the heart and soul there, kind of learning more about Evangel, because I don't really know much about them. I don't really know, besides that they're a very big church and a revival's happening there, and it's really cool to see. But yeah, so I'm doing heart and soul, and that's been really good. That's been very like, okay, here's what I know what Evangel stands for, and I think that's really good to know. And then from heart and soul, you can get involved into this thing called the Dream Team, which is more like serving, they call it e-kids, or working in the coffee shop, or doing things out in the community. But I kind of had to take it since I was involved already leading a connect group. So it's like, okay, well, we'll do it. But it's been good. So that's what I'm doing at Evangel.
And then you've got stuff going on here at Inspire, too. Tell us about that.
Yes, now I'm leading a young adult group here at Inspire, too, which has been really fun. We definitely haven't had a big group, but it's about the one. So I'm just hoping that everybody who does come gets something out of it, whether if it touches one person or a bunch of people, if we have a bunch of people come. But I think if you're watching this, you should come, because it doesn't matter. I don't even know if you're.
And that one's Sunday nights.
But yeah, Sunday nights
Finish your
at
promo.
5. Sorry, guys. Sunday nights at 5. You have to be there. Yeah, but if you are like old or young, just still come, because you're learning about Jesus. So.
And I'd like to point out, you just did week 2. Like, you're not going to have 50 people show up
I know.
when you're just starting a ministry. So I think it's great. Yeah, like you said, you just hang out in the coffee shop, and you're working through the book of Ephesians right now.
Yeah.
And she's doing a great job with it. She's doing a great job just creating that environment here. Because we've always talked about how we feel like we're missing the college age. And, like, how can we capture them? So when Lauren came to me and she was like, can I start this? I'm like, absolutely, you can start this. Like, this is what we've been looking for, is something for your age group, because we don't want to just, you get through our programming and then forget about you. We want to keep plugging you in, keep getting you involved. And so we just really appreciate what you're doing here and what you're starting here, because sometimes it's not easy, but girl, you're on fire. I know you can do it.
Thank you. But I just think, like, I learned a lot from GCU, as in, like, I just want people to be able to know that they have a community, because I felt like I didn't have a community at GCU, but like you do. You just have to give it patience and like go out and do things. So I just hope people can learn that too and want to do that too. So
clearly you had a few mentors along your way that really brought you where you are today. Who would you say some of those mentors are? They could be family or friends or just different people in your life that have geared you down your path.
I would say everybody here at Inspire, for sure. Everybody here. This is like totally, whatever, I'm going to talk about it because whatever, this is good. So literally on Sunday, I was sitting in service and I was like just listening to Pastor Randy, and I was like, I remember when I got called into Pastor Randy's office like sophomore year. And he's just great, but he really was like, come on, we got to get you on the right path. And yeah, so Pastor Randy for sure. I don't even know if he remembers that, but for some reason Sunday, that's all I was thinking about. I was like, oh wow, yikes. But here we are now, so it's all okay.
So would you consider that kind of a turning point, having that chat?
Conversation was like, okay, I really gotta like focus up here.
Is that what we call a come to Jesus talk?
Yeah, seriously.
A come to Jesus moment there, yeah.
Right? Yeah, it was.
Literally.
And then, of course, Lauren back at GCU, and my mom and dad, too. And honestly, my sister, too. I like to, we don't chat as much as I'd like to, but I think she's just in that age where she just likes to do her own thing. And I'm like, hey, Aubrey, how was your day at school? It was fine. I'm like, okay, talk to you later. She just goes up to her room. So, Aubrey, if you're listening to this, come on. We went out for sushi yesterday, but like, come on. But yeah. Anyways, Aubrey, I really like to see her grow, and she's doing a lot of good things here too. And I just think that she's right on the right path. And it's just cool to see too, because when I was her age, I was definitely struggling. But I think even if she doesn't talk about it, I think that she's doing a great job too.
Well, I think in a lot of ways, you're her mentor.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's about time for us to wrap up our conversation here with Lauren. Man, have we enjoyed having her with us today. She just brings so much energy and light in our direction. So, Miss Lauren, thanks for joining us. And can I put you on the spot to close us in prayer?
You're going to do it anyways.
Yeah, it wasn't a question. Kate, I'm putting you on to close us in prayer.
No, I'd love to. So, as Rob and Ty and everybody else always says, please close your eyes with us. Unless you're driving them, please keep them open. We don't want you to crash here. Dear God, I want to thank you for Lauren. I want to thank you for letting her come on this podcast and just for the light that she brings into this world. I tell you what, the Casters are a force to be reckoned with, her and Aubrey and her whole family. We just thank you for them and the blessing that they've been to not only Inspire, but to the community around us, to the community at GCU, that I know Lauren touched the lives of so many people there. And I just pray that you guide her, you protect her, and that you show her where you want her to be going in her life. And I'm just so excited to see where you take her, because you've got great things in store for her. So I just thank you for who she is, and we thank you for this time together. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
And before we close, I just want to thank everybody for joining us today. And just a reminder to stop in to Inspire on Sundays for service at 9:15 or 10:45, or stop in on a Wednesday for our Ignite service. Starts at 5 o'clock with a meal, 6 o'clock classes for all, and 7 o'clock is service. All right, guys, have a great day. Bye-bye.